Having been with us since the Halcyon Newgrounds days of browser-based Flash games, that wonderful nostalgic era when a complete absence of censorship was merely the means by which we could all enjoy poo-poo and dead baby jokes and wasn't yet official government policy towards presidential support of neo-Nazism, Edmund Macmillan has been one of the more consistent voices in indie development. I mean, re-releasing The Binding of Isaac 9,000 times is certainly consistent, if nothing else. Fortunately, he's finally broken that habit and put out an entirely new game called Mewgenics, but if you're frightened of new things because your mum only fed you chicken tenders, rest assured that all the wholesome, reliable Flash-style cutesy animation, poo jokes, body horror, religious references, disquieting fixation on anuses and child abuse has merely been changed for Flash-style cutesy animation, poo jokes, body horror, religious references, disquieting fixation on anuses, and animal abuse. Like I say, consistent, and intellectually I can get behind ruining cats a lot easier than ruining abused children. 'Cause fuck cats. One keeps sneaking into my garden to leave poos and chew up the lawn ornaments, and I keep just missing him when I try to catch him in the act. So my dog tells me anyway. In Mewgenics, we are cast in the role of a crazy cat lady, or rather crazy cat faceless, genderless, omniscient overseer, who runs a house full of randomly generated cats jumping around fighting, fucking, and pooing on things, depending on what furniture you've installed and how poo receptive it is. And every few days we nominate 4 of them to go on a quest, giving each one an adventurer class and a silly hat before sending them off on a succession of random encounters and isometric, grid-based, turn-based, distasteful tactical battles against groups of evil cats, insects, and Macmillan's trademark indistinct blobby fetuses and fetus-like entities. It's sort of a cross between Slay the Spire and XCOM, in which when your commandos return triumphantly from the battlefield, you get to watch them fuck and poo on each other. But the question hanging over it all for me is what it's all in aid of, assuming you don't consider watching them fuck and poo on each other the end in itself. Binding of Isaac sort of had a plot. You were trying to explore the secrets of the mysterious endless basement and get cathartic revenge on your evil mum 90,000 times. In Mewgenics, we're not given any specific reason why we're sending feline quartets to die at the hands and anuses of the evil legions. I mean, they bring back money and food to keep your home base going, but what is the long-term goal of the home base? What's the main villain or threat? We're certainly not acting for the benefit of the cats, because they can't be sent on quests more than once. If they manage to not die and return home in glory, you're expected to donate them to one of several extremely suspect individuals in town in order to raise our relationship score with them, acquire new upgrades for the house, and make room for new cats. We are not shown or informed what these people are doing with our old cats, but we never see them again and they always need new ones, so something tells me they're not putting on fashion parades. It's rather upsetting considering that much as what happens with XCOM, I get attached to those cat units who acquire enough quirks and abilities on their adventure for some kind of personality to emerge, like my hunter with several insect familiars who wore a decaying lump of meat on their head and was permanently grinning broadly as if taking perverse relish in the rank stench he no doubt emitted. I liked him, and then he made it home and I had to say toodaloo and send him to that scientist with the unusually large stock of black plastic bin liners. I know you don't understand human emotions, Edmund, or why other people don't like staring at anuses all day, but some of us make investments in these things, especially considering how long a single run can take. Turn-based tactical battles don't exactly pass at a brisk pace when you have to micromanage everyone's movement and ballistic farts one by one. It's slow going even when you're not fighting bosses with their hundreds of HP you have to whittle down as you defend yourself as best you can from all their bullshit, in both the figurative and literal sense. So I'd come home after an arduous quest to literal hell and back long enough that I've come to love my merry band and their artfully crafted overpowered builds before going welp and boxing them all up to mail to creepy dude C, who's promised to add an extension to my house if I give him 25 gently used cats. 25 fucking cats for the first house extension upgrade? What do you even need that many for? You're mincing them up to make the cement. That's at least 7 runs worth of cat veterans, and that's if I'm not also giving cats to the other 5 perverts. In other words, making permanent progress in the game is a rather obnoxiously long process, with most of our achievements being completely ephemeral. Powerful he-cats and useless we-twats alike come and go, like it's the production line at the suspiciously inexpensive chicken nugget factory. Now, I'm misrepresenting things here. While donating veteran cats is the only way to get permanent upgrades, you don't have to do it. You need a few around to repel the occasional invasion boss, and of course they can be used for breeding. But in defiance of it being essentially the eponymous feature, I didn't see much point in trying to exert any control over the breeding. It's entirely random if, when, who, and with what degree of sensitivity fucking takes place, and the resultant kittens don't seem to have a better chance of decent starting stats or abilities than the random cats who show up every day, who've finally grown tired of pooing in socially acceptable places outdoors. And now we're getting to it. All success comes down to a roll of the dice, the traditional flaw of the roguelite. You've got very limited control over who breeds and in what manner your cats level up after battle, and the path of your quest is littered with random skill checks against random cats. You might have 3 cats with intelligence stats in the double digits, but then find an intelligence skill check being directed at the 4th cat who won't stop licking the paint off of walls, and who the others only brought along so they could put out cigarettes on his face. But while I'm iffy about the broad mechanics, the vagueness of our ultimate goal, the isometric camera in battles making it occasionally really hard to pass what's going on when dudes are clustered together, and the fundamentalist approach to the teachings of RNGesus, once I'd gotten past some initial stumbling, there's something about Mewgenics that keeps me coming back. I find myself properly strategizing, always have at least one healer, try to use lots of familiars because each one is another thing for the enemy to poo on instead of me. I've finished Hades 2 on my Steam Deck now that Lord Moros has finally fucking put out, so I had a vacancy for an after-work casual me-time game, and somehow Mewgenics has wormed its way into that position, and I'm not yet inclined to break out the deworming calming tablets, as it were. It's possible the randomness and ephemeralness has gotten its claws in and put me in the position of mindless slack-jawed pulling on the fruit machine lever in the hope of just one more sniff at the anus of success, but at least the visuals are appealing and the soundtrack's good, and it's funny I should say that because that's the exact opposite of what one normally expects from an anus.